Hi there, and welcome into our brand new small group ministry at Cross Lutheran Church and School. I'm so thankful that you and your small group are part of what God is doing right now to build up our Cross family and to build up our community as we strive to follow Him. And that's what we get to talk about in our very first season together. We get to talk about the community of Jesus, how it is that He builds us up as His people. Now, when we talk about community, another word that comes to mind very quickly is the idea of a team. And perhaps more than any other team sport, one that I enjoy watching is basketball. Now, there's a particular basketball player who's gotten quite a bit of attention over the last number of months, and he's got an unusual name. His name is Taco Fall, T-A-C-K-O. Now, this particular basketball player gets a lot of attention because he is over 7 feet tall. He is a huge, huge man. Now, what if Taco Fall said that his attribute was the most important one on the whole team? So important, in fact, that every single person on that basketball team should be exactly like he is. Well, you'd have a team full of people who barely had to stand on their tippy toes to be able to do a slam dunk. You'd have a team that could block a lot of the shots of the other team that they'd play against. But who would you have who would be the really good handler, the one who could dribble the ball the best? Would you have anybody who could be a pinpoint passer? Who would be the one to take that buzzer beater 3-point shot at the end of the game? Well, if the entire team were just Taco Fall, you wouldn't have the best team you could have, because you've got to have players that can do different things on the court, not just all be really good at the same thing. Now, this principle doesn't just apply to sports, it applies to other things like music as well. What if in an orchestra there were a particular oboe player who thought, I don't get enough time to shine with my skills on the oboe. Maybe we could get rid of all the other violinists and cello players so that all the music was just all oboe all the time. Well, if you've ever been in band or an orchestra, maybe you know the old joke. How do you get 2 oboes to be in tune with one another? Well, you have to send one of the oboes away. It's just not going to happen. Truth be told, if you want to have the best sound among that entire musical group, you've got to have a lot of different instruments all playing together in beautiful harmony to create the best sound, the most beautiful music possible. Now, the community in ancient Corinth was having some similar problems. And I don't mean they were an entire basketball team of Taco Fall or that they were a dysfunctional orchestra, but they were trying to figure out how community could go better. Well, they needed to be figuring that out anyway, because some of the problems that they had, they were getting in the way of their relationships with one another. They were impacting their ability to worship together. They were getting in the way of the way that they could receive the Lord's Supper. And they were getting in the way, too, of the way that they could witness their faith in Jesus with their surrounding community. They needed to learn how and why God was bringing them together as His people. They needed to learn about the unity of the community that God had in mind for them to be. And that's exactly why He inspired the Apostle Paul long ago to write the letter to them that you're about to read, well, at least a section of it. So my prayer for you as you dive into this passage of Scripture is that you will learn more about community, the community of Jesus, your place in it, and what God would have you notice as you spend time together with His people and spend time together in His Word.